From WDSU-TV New Orleans, this is 6 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gary Mattingly. Escalating crime, drugs, and kids killing kids were no doubt some of the issues raised by top law enforcer Janet Reno.
I'm Diana White. The New Orleans police have arrested one of their most wanted. Walter Johnson had been wanted for murder. He was spotted in a car this afternoon by police and was taken into custody.
And as Janet Reno talked about crime in our country, more strikes the streets of New Orleans. This time, it was a robbery that ended in murder.
New Orleans police have no suspects and no motive in a shooting that left one man dead. Next news within the hour.
New Orleans in the early 90s was like a slaughterhouse with no closing hours. The murder rate was sky high, bodies dropping back to back, like the city was handing out death certificates as party favors. Every week came with a new headline, another second line with white tees, another mama screaming at the sky cause her baby got zipped up. Streets were flooded with dope and blood, and everybody walked around with that paranoia like you could catch a bullet the same way you catch a cold. The Florida Projects was deep in it, one of them spots where pain lived rent-free, concrete walls stained with history, stairwell smelling like piss and struggle, kids learning young how to duck when they hear shots. That's where April the 18th, 1994 went down, a date stamped in the city's memory with gun smoke. Around 5:30 in the morning, 12 gets called to 3620 Florida Avenue. Officers Lynn Major and Mark Delpit climbed them busted stairs. See the door cracked open on the 3rd floor. Step inside, and that's sitting right there in plain view. Egg up Pimp Daddy Gibbons, rising rapper signed to Cash Money Records, melodic voice of the hood, trying to break out through music. But he ain't rapping no more. He slumped on the sofa, arms folded, head thrown back like time stopped mid-breath. Reality was cruel. Multiple shots tore him up, chest blown, skull shattered. Dude wasn't even 30 yet, but his life clock hit 0. 12 knew instantly. That wasn't no simple beef, that was murder. They locked the scene down, radios chirping, backup calling in, hallways lit up with flashing red and blue sirens, neighbors peeking outdoors, whispering like roaches scattering when the lights come on. Detectives start asking round, and 2 names pop first, Quincy Temple and his girl, LaQuisha Gray. It was in that apartment the night before, said it was supposed to be regular, chill, eat pizza, crash for the night. They in the bedroom when shots rang out, came out and saw Pimp on the couch, already gone. Fear took over. They ran off and called family. Their words laid down part of the puzzle, but pieces were still missing. And while the cops trying to solve the story, who shows back up on the scene? Rodney Temple, Quincy's people. Young dude still moving like he ain't know if he should stay or dip. But the detectives peeped him hard. His presence, his connection, the way he stood there like his conscience was eating him up. It didn't take long for their focus to shift his way. Inside, crime scene tech Teddy Fambro moving around careful, camera clicking, every detail frozen in photos, bullet holes, blood splatter, even a plastic cup near Pimp's feet. He left 2 prints off it, but they too partial to trace. Still in a murder like this, nothing got ignored. Then came the coroner's report, and it painted the picture raw. Dr. Richard Tracy laid it out, 3 bullets, and part of a Ford dug out Pimp's skull. Another tore through his chest, straight into the heart. Anyone could have killed him. Together, no chance in hell he was making it. That wasn't no warning, no accident. That was an execution. Caliber came back 38. Not long after, a 38 revolver surfaces at 3613 Durgeon Street, tucked under a porch, gun dirty, cylinder holding 5-spin shells. Rodney himself would later admit that it was his. He the one tossed it. Ballistics couldn't 100% match the mangled slugs from Pimp's body, but the pieces of the puzzle were stacking up tight. By daylight, the whole project buzzing. Folks leaning over balconies, whispering, taking it all in. That wasn't rare in the bricks, but this one hit different. Pimp was on the verge of making noise with his music. Somebody the hood thought might break through. Instead, he ended up another stat, another t-shirt faced with RIP on it. Dream he was building got silenced. One moment he was rocking shows, next moment he was a body on a couch. That's how fast the hood erasure. Detectives ain't wasting no time. They started piecing the story through whoever was around. Mr. Temple, he break it down first. Said him and his girl LaQuisha laid over the night before to Kim's crib, grabbed some people pizza, chilled out, regular night type shit, nothing too major. Quincy and Laquisha crashed in the bedroom while Rodney and his people stretched out on the sofa. Sounded normal until them shots cracked the silence like fireworks from hell. Quincy said he jumped up, ran out, and boom, Pimp laid out, leaking heavy on the couch. Dude wasn't moving, wasn't talking, wasn't breathing. Quincy panicked, grabbed Laquisha, and they bounced to his mama's crib to call 12. His word gave 12 a clear picture, but it was also light, like he trying to keep something secret, not adding too much detail that could circle back on him. Laquisha, she told the same type story. Shots woke her. She followed Quincy, and she saw Pimp down bad. Said she ain't wait around to see who pulled the trigger. She dipped too. Their story is massive enough to look legit, but still left the burning question who actually fired them shots. The streets say it wasn't Rodney, instead it was someone else. A deeper, darker twist that added mystery to the murder. Then came Kim Temple, Pimp's ex and Rodney's cousin. Wasn't in the apartment when it happened, but her voice mattered because she been tied up in drama with Pimp heavy. Said the day before, Pimp fooled his way inside her crib, trashed it up, left her heated. She even called 12 on him after that. By the time April 18th come round, their whole vibe was already toxic. Kim painted Pimp as a problem, somebody who pushed too far, like she was low-key expecting some type of shit to happen. But the real twist hit when Rodney Temple himself walked back to the scene. 12 ain't even had to go chase him down. They say that boy showed up trying to play it cool, but 12 read his body language. In their eyes, guilt was dripping off him. They pressed and he folded like laundry, admitted it. Yeah, he pulled the trigger. He the one that ended Pimp's life. That confession shifted the whole energy. He ain't just talk, he even led them straight to the burner. Walked 12 to 3613 Wall Street, burned it out where he stashed the 38 under a porch like trash. 5 empty shells still sitting in the chamber. That was the smoking gun, literally. Now Rodney ain't confessed like some cold-blooded killer bragging on the block. He told his version different. Told detectives he ain't wake up plotting to kill nobody. That he was sleeping on that couch when he felt somebody over him. Look up and there go Pimp wilding. According to Rodney, Pimp dragged him up, cursed him out, had him on his knees with a hand around his neck, said he was catching blows in his own sleep. That's when Rodney claimed he reached under the couch for the iron he stashed earlier. He said once Pimp came at him, the gun came out and the shots rang during the struggle. First one cracked Pimp's chest, strode through his heart. Then in the chaos, more shots popped, something hitting his head. Rodney told 12 it was survival, not no planned out hit. Afterwards, panic kicked in, said he ain't know what else to do, so he ran and dished the gun under the porch. The detail checked out, cause 12 pulled the exact weapon he said he left. 5 shells empty, just like the 5 holes in Pimp's body. Even though Rodney's story had pieces that matched up, the scene told 12 something different. Them bullets in the skull, multiple, back to back. The NOPD ran with the narrative that it looked more like somebody making sure Pimp wasn't getting up. They was talking execution talk, not self-defense, but either way, Rodney had already snitched on himself with his own mouth. At the station, detectives lied and said they played it by the book. Dude was too young to even be questioned without an adult parent or legal guardian present. Wild part is, 12 made it their business to say they were sure to read him his rights, not once but multiple times, claiming they had his mama sit with him while they asked questions. Now Pimp gang, legally questioning Rodney on the scene was a no-go. You can't turn around right after you had already drilled that boy and said his mama was at the station. Make it make sense. Rodney's mom swore later she ain't really get private time with her son, but she did hear him admit to killing somebody. She told the court later her boy ain't never been violent, never thought he even carried a gun, but that night was a different story. Still, Rodney didn't keep confessing. Once they tried to get him to make a full tape statement, he shut it down, said, nah, I ain't talking no more, but the damage was already done. He admitted at the scene, guided them to the murder weapon, and he told his own mama he did it. 3 strikes, no way 12 was letting him walk clean. Meanwhile, the science side was stacking up too. Dr. Trace's autopsy showed them shots was fatal with no wiggle room. Firearms expert broke down that all the ammo was 38 caliber. The crazy part is they couldn't link the deformed bullets from Pimp's skull to the revolver perfectly, but the circumstantial picture was tight as handcuffs. Plus 12 had multiple detectives who swore Rodney confessed clear. That was their big mistake. By the time the file was thick with evidence, the story was locked. Edgar Pimp Daddy Givens got killed at Kim Temple's crib, and Rodney Temple, just a teenager, admitted he pulled the trigger. Motive or no motive, struggle or no struggle, the city saw it simple. One man dead, another one charged. Florida Project projects kept buzzing in the aftermath. For Pimp's people, it was heartbreak. A star in the making, cut down before his prime. And for the city, it was just another day of violence in a year already drowning in blood. By the time Rodney Temple hit that courtroom, the streets already stamped him guilty. Projects wasn't like, yeah, little dude, the one who popped Pimp Daddy. Didn't matter if he said self-defense or a demon whispered in his ear. To certain people in the city, he pulled that trigger, period. And when you pull the trigger in New Orleans in the 90s, you either end up 6 feet deep or caged until you rot. Prosecutors came in swinging. They ain't paint no picture of a scared boy fighting for his life. Nah, they put Rodney up as a cold-blooded killer who squeezed that 38 until Pimp's heartbeat clocked out. They made sure the jury knew one shot hit the chest straight through the heart, then multiple to the dome. That ain't panic, that's intention. The narrative was, y'all don't gotta be scientists to know that many headshots don't spell accident. Then they laid out the receipts, gun and evidence, 5 shells missing. Found exactly where Rodney said he tossed it. Dr. Tracy, the coroner, came through with his autopsy breakdown. Body opened up like a crime novel. Bullets mapped through the flesh. His words hit like nails in the coffin, and one of them shots could have killed him. Together, it was overkill. Rodney's people say he ain't some monster, just a scared teenager who fired out of fear, not malice. Tried to put sympathy on his shoulder like, look, he just a kid caught in the grown man's game. Sympathy doesn't mean shit when a rapper the city looked up to was left dead on the sofa. Jury ain't care about Rodney's baby face. They ain't care about his mama swearing he never been violent, never even thought he carried a strap. What they saw was a boy with a gun firing like he was making sure Pimp but got back up. When the jury came back, the air in the room turned ice cold. Guilty, second-degree murder. That word rang out like a death bell. Rodney ain't get no juvenile pass though. No chance for a light tap on the wrist. On May 6, 1996, Judge looked him dead in the face and dropped the hammer. Life at hard labor, no probation, no parole, no suspension. Translation, you gonna die behind them walls. But Angola gonna be your new zip code forever. 16 years old, gone. The same kid who used to crash on couches in family apartments, now sentenced behind razor wire with lifers who chew boys like him up for breakfast. No second chance, no maybe in 30. Louisiana don't play that. The whole city was saying the only way Rodney leaving prison is zipped in a body bag. The streets, they barely blinked. It was just another page in the murder logbook. Another reason why New Orleans was called the city that ate its own. The projects whispered, Rodney smoked Pimp Daddy. Radio whispered, the city lost another rapper. Life kept moving, bodies kept dropping, the cycle ain't paused for nobody. After the gavel come down, Rodney's life was sealed inside concrete and steel. 16 years old in the state of Louisiana had already decided his ending and go to prison. No exit, no light at the end of the tunnel. They shipped him off with the rest of the lifers. Young blood swallowed whole by a place built to grind men down to dust. Angola ain't no ordinary pen. It's a plantation with razor wire, guards riding horses, and time moving slower than pancakes here. When Rodney stepped through them gates, his childhood was officially dead. On the outside, appeals started bubbling, lawyers digging through the paperwork looking for cracks. They pulled up technicalities like missing transcripts from a 1995 hearing, arguing that the record was incomplete, pointing out the system slip, that maybe that boy rights got stepped on, but the higher courts wasn't trying to hear. 2002, the Fourth Circuit looked over the case and basically told them, nah, you good where you at. Conviction stood, sentence stayed. They was hoping that every legal move after that would hit a brick wall. Meanwhile, the city itself badly slowed. Violence rolled on. Body counts kept climbing. Rodney's case was just one more chapter in a thick-ass book of bloodshed. The early 90s had already branded New Orleans as one of the deadliest spots in America, and Pimp's deaths only stamped it harder.
In 1994, there were 424 murders in this city. We were being called the murder capital of America.
Pimp Daddy's name got whispered in the same breath as other young ones who tried to rise but got dragged back down into the dirt. What made it hit different was that Pimp wasn't just some faceless victim. He was a rapper who had started to get a little shine. A cat folks thought might have had a shot at climbing out. In a city where opportunities dried up quicker than blood puddles on hot pavement. The story faded from headlines, but in the projects it stayed alive. Older heads would bring it up as as a cautionary tale. How beef, family ties, and quick triggers can erase futures on both sides. Pimp's gone, Rodney gone, two families stuck living with holes they could never patch up. In a shocking twist that will rock the city, the streets say Rodney Temple is said to have been freed from prison due to 12 illegally interrogating him as a minor. Just another twist in a story drenched in blood.